hi, Andrew Bell here, Chairman of the Ray White Service Paradise Group, together with Amber Roberts, our General Manager of our property management operation, both residential and commercially. Never before has property been such a daily conversation across all platforms, at government levels, in the media, online, and of course in households all over the country. We truly do have a housing crisis. Now, one of my roles as the Director of the Real Estate Institute of Australia is to assure you that we are working tirelessly at a federal government level to ensure that not only is there an effective housing policy, but one that will actually deliver results in the quickest possible timeframe. The current policy that has been put forward is a long way short of what is required to make any difference in this housing crisis. While certainly legislation has been passed in some areas, it's now sitting at government level with very little action. I think we all know there is the government and there's the bureaucracy behind it that administrates all of the policies, and that's where the blockages occur and certainly are at present. It's our strong view that the government needs to get out of the way. Yes, there is a role in legislative change to oil the wheels, but ultimately when it comes to construction of property, the government has never been good at that and should be left to the private sector. Our housing crisis, made up of both properties for people to buy and most definitely properties for people to rent, is getting worse every single day. I've touched on that in my latest e-news, which I hope you've got a copy of by now, so I won't go into that in greater detail. But at the very time we have the worst housing crisis in Australia because of the demand, we actually have recorded the lowest construction levels. Real problem. The formula is all wrong. Of course, those owning properties today are the huge beneficiaries. Price growth continues at astounding levels, and those such as yourself who own properties continue to benefit from that great price growth that occurs. Likewise, with rental growth being so strong, it's the best rental market I've seen for landlords in my 50 plus years in the industry. With this current crisis being with us for at least another 8+ years before any true relief comes through, this is the time to buy more investment properties rather than selling and dropping out of the best landlord market on record. We, of course, at REIA level are dealing with some of the independents at government level, the Greens and like, who are coming up with some recommendations to change regulations around things like negative gearing and capital gains tax and the like. But this is more about appealing to their voters to ensure their re-election. We know some of the independents, indeed many at government and opposition level, have never operated in the commercial world, and they don't really understand the impact of those types of changes. So we're going to make sure that they do understand that any change in those spaces will only worsen the rental crisis that exists and indeed add further reason for developers not to build. Of course, all of the above applies so equally to our residential and our commercial landlords, where any policy settings at local, state or federal government levels so frequently affect the rental market. Commercial property owners are also receiving the best yields in over 40 years, driven by the same factors of more tenants than landlords. And for most sectors of the market, whether it's industrial, office space, or strip shops, vacancy rates are near or around record levels, again in most sectors. So in summary, an outstanding market to be a landlord at present, and with so much attention on the rental crisis, I want you to feel assured that I'm doing everything to represent you and the broader landlord community at government policy discussions to get realistic policies in place to ease this housing crisis that so deeply affects people all over Australia. Well, over to you, Amber.
Well, thanks, Andrew. Look, as Andrew said, I've worked on the Gold Coast for the past 23 years and I've never seen a healthier rental market than I have over the last 18 months. We've seen anywhere from 20 to 30% increase in our rental prices. In some cases, on lease renewals, getting between $100 and $200 a week increases on many properties. So it definitely is the best time to be a landlord in this market. We are still experiencing record levels of inquiry, somewhere upwards of 6,500 inquiries a month. We actually processed and received into our office nearly 800 applications last month. So you can definitely see that there's plenty of people in the market looking for rental properties. The problem is that we have a shortage. We only have about 45 properties to lease, so you can imagine the amount of people, unfortunately, that have to miss out. So if there's anybody in the market right now that's looking to buy another investment property, now is definitely the time to do it. The other thing I'd like to announce is I'm really, really excited. A couple of months ago, we wrote to all our landlords to let them know that we were introducing some new technology that was going to assist and be able to have a greater transparency around some of the core tasks that we perform for you. So I'm really excited to announce that on the 20th of May, we are releasing our new maintenance program. So the reason that we did this is to give our landlords greater control and transparency around the maintenance that was done on their property, but also have better interactions with our tenants. So the tenants will have a 24-hour concierge service that they will be able to report anything at any time of the day. And the best part about that is the concierge actually troubleshoots through some of these issues that hopefully the tenants can resolve without it having to log a maintenance job. But if in the event that it does, all of those details around the conversation that the concierge has had with the tenant will then be passed on to the landlord. And as I said, complete transparency around exactly what has been tried and then again what then needs to be transferred onto our trade. So we're really excited to announce that. There's some other really great features which I won't get into now, but we'll be emailing out a list of those features and how to get access for you to the back end of the portal. And if you have any questions at all once you receive that, please feel free to get in touch with your property manager. Of course, we're coming up to tax time, which obviously everyone cringes about. But we did want to flag with you that obviously with the increase in a lot of these rental prices across many of our properties, we want to make sure that our landlords are fully informed as to whether or not they potentially are put into a positively geared situation. So we felt it necessary to, now that we're sort of 2 months out from the end of financial year, if there's any capital works or maintenance that's outstanding on your property that you're waiting on to approve, that now would be the best time to get that done in the next 2 months so that we can include it in this financial year for you. If there's any concerns around that, obviously please reach out to your property manager. They would be more than happy to assist you.
I think we're done.
Yep.
Well, that wraps up this report, and we'll look forward to being with you in the not too distant future with further updates. Thanks for your time.